What's up, everybody, and welcome to Club Kayfabe. We didn't practice that.
No, and mine's broken.
All right. Better. Right now. All right. On today's episode, we are going to be discussing the recent releases, like the crazy releases that WWE and TKO just announced. What was it, yesterday?
Yep. Pretty much during SmackDown.
Yeah, and we're also going to talk about the importance of the main roster call up. So let's get it started with the releases. Which one threw you off the most? Shocked you the most?
There's a couple of them, but top, I'd probably say, man, it's got to be between Kyrie or Alistair. Probably say Alistair, just because we didn't get a payoff and then we got Pat McAfee instead.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
I didn't like the Alistair one just because, you brought the man back last year, April of last year, and he pretty much showed that he was undeniable. He did great work in AEW with the House of Black. He has this level of mystique to him. People love him because he's a striker, and the Black Mass is one of the most devastating finishers besides the RKO. He hits it so cleanly. He's clean and crisp in the ring, just for you not to use him.
Right.
I think the highlight of his return this time was his rivalry with Damian Priest, and they made him lose that ambulance match.
Yeah.
So that one, it wasn't really a shock to me because they weren't really using him. It just aggravates me that he's still getting paid regardless, and merchandise sales, and he's got his wrestling school and stuff like that, and he can go to any other company. But it's like a waste of time, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I guess tying Zelina to it, the way she got the news broke to her.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think it's inevitable, but it's kind of unprofessional.
Yeah.
How did someone else hear about it before she did from WWE? It just doesn't make any sense. Sorry, I got an eyelash.
Yeah, it's all good. I think one of the ones that really shocked me, and it's not really a well-known person, was Tyra May Steele and Luca Crucifino. He was part of Tony D'Angelo's family.
Yeah.
I really liked him. He had what they call the look for a wrestler.
Yeah.
So I think he was kind of... Yeah, it's great to be put into a faction and stable like that, because you get TV time, and he tried to play that middle of the ground between him and Stax, and then he was off TV for a while and they didn't do nothing with him. It's just I kind of put it up there with Giovanna Vinci from Imperium, and with Tyra, she was on LFG and she was crushing it. I think she won on the women's side, and she was crushing it. She had an Olympic background in wrestling, and I think it was wrestling, it was wrestling, and she was on Evolve, and she was doing big things on Evolve, and people she could play a heel or a face, and I feel you get all these prospects, NXT prospects, through their NIL deals, and you don't do anything with them.
And sometimes I understand them. It's kind of a consensus I got today on social media was, there's people saying we riot because the Wyatt Six got, let go, right? Every comment that I see is right, it does kind of suck, but they're hurt or they're not doing anything. And if you want new talent, you have to make room. You can't expect them to just overload the main rosters anyway.
Yeah.
And I think that's what some fans struggle with is, they're very popular, but they just had to go. They weren't doing anything.
At the end of the day, yes, wrestling is awesome. We love certain wrestlers. We gravitate towards them. But at the end of the day, it's still a business.
Right.
WWE and TKO, they have to look at it as who's drawing us money, who's costing us money. And you look at like the percentage of people that watch each segment, and granted the Wyatts had a great debut, like we talked about. Awesome debut. It was crafted perfectly. Shout out Homelander. But that was it.
Yeah.
If you wear a mask and you're not a luchador, you are doomed in the wrestling business, in my opinion.
Well, if you look back at Kane, that's why he wanted to take his mask off, because like all his stuff was facial.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he had the head turn when he had the full mask on, and you couldn't see his mouth. He had the head turn, but I don't know. I don't like masks on non-luchadors.
Yeah, because especially with WWE, a lot of their performative arts is facial expressions.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Heyman is one of the greatest at conveying an emotion with facial expressions.
Right.
And
like when Lesnar ended the streak.
Yeah, Paul sold that.
Right. He was, it sold the shock of like, no freaking way.
Yeah.
He's like, he did it.
Even though it's predetermined and he already knew the script and everything.
It's hard.
Heyman, it's hard to do.
Right.
It's very hard to.
When you already know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you got to actually put on that fake shock, but Heyman actually makes you think like, oh, did he know?
Right. That's why I'm like, with Brock's retirement, I'm just like, I don't know, did he know? Because he's very good at pretending.
Yeah, and it also boils down to like him and Brock are like best friends, so I feel like he had to have told Heyman,
or at least like
hinted at it for a while there.
Yeah. Sorry to get back to Brock. He's gonna be missed.
Oh, dude, it's a sad day. But
little current event thing. Did you hear they might be suing him for that?
For what?
For kind of doing an unannounced retirement, because apparently they were expecting him to be at SummerSlam.
Oh, the SummerSlam in Minnesota
and
thing.
Yeah, they want him to retire there. So now there might be.
I feel like if you're Brock Lesnar, you just look at people that are like, "Oh, I'm gonna sue you," and just like,
try.
Fuck you. Go for it.
Well, he lives in Canada, so it's going to be a little. It's going to be a.
Back and forth.
If they go through with it, that's why like SmackDown, they did a little tribute to him, and they showed that same package, that video package again. I'm just like, are they going to do it though? Because like I thought if they are, maybe they're just in beginning talks, but I thought if they weren't even going to mention him. But
I feel like if that was the set played for Brock to retire at SummerSlam, him retiring at Mania, that's a Brock Lesnar move. Like, I'm fucking Brock Lesnar.
But then he doesn't want the spotlight.
No, he gave the whole spotlight to Obafemi.
Right.
Like, he single-handedly helped catapult a future star.
Mm-hmm.
By him retiring and him getting squashed. He went out on the grandest stage of them all against the next big thing,
right?
That he was, and like, you can't ask for anything more. And if you do, you're just money hungry and you're just trying to capitalize off his image.
Yep, being greedy. And I hope he sticks to his guns, which he's
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Probably will. So I don't know. It's weird, and I don't like it. But speaking of future stars, Fatal Influence got called up last night.
Great call up.
They had. Remember when Dom was? He had that heat where he couldn't talk.
Dom heat is what it's no longer X-Pac heat. It's
Right.
Dom heat.
Do this times 2.
Uh-huh.
Dude, she was letting them do it. She's like, yeah, keep going. I got all night. With JC Jane, I was who I'm talking about. She's like, keep going. Like, she just sat there. She's like, all right, enough with the games, because like they just would not let her talk, and they would shut up when Rio talked, because she came out and
Yeah, of
after,
course.
you know, she came out after and talked to her. They shut up, and she tried to cut her off. I think they were trying to like quiet her, so quiet the crowd, and then try to get JC back in. Like,
Yeah, they were trying to
Reset.
That's the guys in Gorilla trying to take back control of the show.
So they did, and then as soon as that mic went to JC Jane's mouth, I didn't think they were going to get through it. She had powered through it, and bless her soul for it, because she had to yell into the mic because they were that loud.
JC Jane is
like,
one of those stars that are homegrown NXT talent, in my opinion. She was on the Indies. They all started somewhere, but she came into her own, especially after what's her face got released, the redhead.
Yeah.
Priscilla Kelly,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I can't remember her. Gigi Dolan.
Gigi Dolan.
I couldn't remember her
That's
WWE
right.
name.
Yeah.
She came into her own, like we talked about last episode. I was like shocked when they put the belt on her, and her getting called up to the main roster and we were talking about that, like not on the show, but we've talked about it. Like, you keep giving all these people that have had title opportunities. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Rhea Ripley. I think she's good for women's wrestling and wrestling in general, but I'm tired of seeing her, Charlotte, the same people. Not Io, because I can see Io in a title picture all the time because I love Io.
Right.
We were talking about it, like, you have all this talent down at NXT and talent in Evolve.
Right.
Like, bring them up, and then they bring up Fatal Influence, and I was just like, that's a good faction to bring up.
it. And they wrecked the girls all night.
Yeah, because
They first came out, they busted on the tag team match.
yeah, and dude, they're all three. The one, she just joined Fatal Influence like less than a year ago, and she's already like coming into her own.
Is it that the country girl?
No, that she was with JC Jane for a while. It was the other one with like that wears like her hair down and a pigtail thing.
Yep.
But she came up. She joined Fatal Influence afterwards because it was another girl that was with Fatal Influence, but then she got released, and they added the new girl, and I feel like that was the best move that they did. I mean, I liked the other girl; she was really good in the ring, but this new girl, I'd never heard of her before, and then she started like being like vicious.
I see her as like the hitman kind of
The solo
muscle,
character.
the muscle. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like the muscle of that.
Yeah, she's just like, I'll do whatever. She doesn't talk about nothing. She just swings.
She's down to fight.
Yeah.
She liked to fight.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward. Like, this brings me into the question: how important is a main roster call up to you as a wrestling fan?
Very. And I'll tell you, a perfect example just happened. I think it should be taken care of. Well, not taken care of. It should be taken seriously, like Sol Ruka, right? Then she goes down to NXT, takes that wicked bump, had to get her head stapled.
Yeah.
Like, you were just playing with fire right there. Like,
Yeah.
you could almost just ended your whole WWE run, career, whatever you want to call it, for that.
Yeah, you're like, you could have got injured, been put on the shelf for 6-7 months.
Right.
And then that call up does not mean nobody's gonna remember the match you had with Liv Morgan.
Right. It's, I kind of, maybe it's not the same level of, I guess, importance, but I almost look at it like you're getting drafted because, draft's going on right now. Maybe that's why, but it's like you're getting drafted to, the Saints or something. I don't know. But
They're investing millions of dollars into you, and then you go out.
it's
and,
life changing.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I don't know. No, I'm assuming that was part of their. It was one of their spots they wanted to do. I don't know who okayed that for her to do that. I think that's kind of reckless.
Like, I get trying to make, like, a lasting impact on your NXT run and go out with a bang. I get that. But a table spot like that, there are so many things that can go wrong. It could have been a lot worse.
At that height.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how how much you trust the person you're in the ring with. That table and gravity do not care.
They do not.
So like when she got called up, when she debuted on Raw, what if she would have won the title from Liv and then goes to NXT as the women's champion, gets dropped like that, and has to be on the shelf for like a year because of a really severe injury? She'd have to relinquish that title, and it would be then you'd have to do the whole thing like, oh, we're gonna have a tournament for the next women's champion, and then you put the belt right back on Liv.
Right.
Like, why'd you even do it?
Right. And it's the ultimate derailment if that happened. You know,
Look what happened to Finn Balor
yeah.
when he won the Universal title.
Yep. It's very reckless.
Very.
I think it should be taken very seriously and, like, do that stuff on the main roster.
Yeah. I mean, I get, like I said, I get it. You're trying to make.
Yeah.
You're trying to.
And she's a bad motherfucker too.
Yeah, like a wow factor. You're trying to
Right.
put that shock out there. Like, oh my God, did you see what Sol Ruka did? Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I seen her almost destroy her career.
Yeah, I mean, we did. We were, it was like that when we were kids watching Jeff Hardy. Did you see what Jeff Hardy did? Yeah, he almost killed himself.
Right. Like, I respect it. I'm not talking any bad about her, but I just think that was reckless. I'm glad she's okay.
It comes down to superstars' safety, and I know WWE is like one of the top tier when it comes to safety. They take care of their guys and girls, but whoever, like, if I'm the booker of that match or the producer of that match, and you come to me and you're like, oh, we got this table spot, she's gonna throw me off of the balcony here. I'm looking at you like, are you fucking insane?
You're about to throw one of my top prospects off a ledge?
Right, like, Zarya, you're still gonna be here. Soul's going to Mondays.
Right, no.
Like, and Triple H is up there watching it like, Sean, what the fuck were you thinking?
Oh, come on, man. I need her.
Yeah, like,
I get it. God, I'm struggling. Yeah, it's like you said, I get it, but it's reckless. Reckless.
Like,
I respect it, but reckless.
Back to the question, though, like, I believe that call-ups are very important, too, because not only is it great to see these people that have put in the time down at NXT, and some that haven't, that have come right to the main roster, like AJ Styles, Royce Keys, it's great to see these guys, but it also gives the roster a much-needed refreshing.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have stale storylines, because you have more people, like with Ethan Page in general. Like, Ethan Page being called up, I've been waiting for this for a while, because you can do so much with him.
Yeah.
He's got history with pretty much everybody in WWE, especially people that were in AEW when he had his TNA run, when he was part of the North with Josh Alexander, one of my favorite tag teams ever, even though they're Canadian.
Canadians are alright.
Yeah, Canadian wrestlers are alright. fuck the Canadian national hockey team. Yeah, USA baby. But Ethan Page, I think, out of all the call-ups that they've been doing and so far announced, because I know Ricky Saint's supposed to be getting called up soon.
He is next week, apparently.
Yeah,
supposedly, allegedly.
I feel like the Ethan Page one, that was the one that got me the most hype, because I mean, I've told you, and multiple people have said this, that I look like the Temu or Wish version of Ethan Page when
Smile though.
If I had my hair cut and the beard done the right way, like, yeah, He's in a lot better shape than me, and he's got a better.
You're in a shape.
I'm a shape. Definitely a shape. Hashtag Lardy Boys right here.
This is Lardy Boys.
Yeah, this would be the Lardy Boys. But, I mean, yeah, I'm excited for Ethan Page to see what they can do with him. I hope that they do something with him and Cody, because I would love to see Ethan Page and Cody go at it. I would love to see Ethan Page in a promo battle with LA Knight.
That's what I'm waiting for.
I would love to see Ethan Page do something with CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a wrestling fan, as a huge fan of Ethan Page, and I have been for a while, and knowing what he can do on the microphone and in that ring, I wish it would change his finisher. He does a twist of fate. It's called the Twisted Grin. Love the name. Love the fact that, you know, he does the twist of fate, and he does it clean.
Did he have... Or is that Page? I'm not thinking Page Turner. Was that Page?
That's Page.
Okay.
But, you know, and props to the Hardys for allowing him to use that, because, you know, you go to a lot of these wrestlers, as a respect thing, you go to these older wrestlers and you're like, hey, can I use this? Like Kevin Owens did with Stone Cold.
But, like, that's a move I could see Kevin doing. Like, Ethan Page on Twist of Fate. I see it.
It makes sense.
Well, and, you know, if he does it like, you know, kind of they do, and, like, when he swoops down, it's a grin.
That's why the Twisted Grin. I like it. Yeah. I like the name. Makes sense. I like the Twisted Grin name more than I like the Twist of Fate. And, you know, I'm an old school wrestling fan. Like,
kind of like it too.
And I'm kind of like the wrestlers are, like, with the respect thing. Like on LFG, where the girl went to take her and asked if she could do the Hell's Gate. Like, that's a respect thing. And I love that about the business.
Yeah. I like that finishers and stuff are protected. I guess if you want to call it that.
Do you know what the most protected finisher in all of wrestling is?
The Tombstone.
Nope. Tombstone's been kicked out of numerous times.
Hold on. I know which one.
It's not a singles move.
Oh, no. 3D?
Yep.
Yeah.
The most protected move in the history of wrestling is the Dudley Death Device, drop device, whatever you want to call it.
I know the drop.
Yeah. A lot of people were saying device years ago.
Yeah.
It's one of the most...
I guess it technically is a device.
Pretty much. And I feel like the Usos doing the 1D, I like that they changed the name. They call it the 1D.
What do they call it D for?
I don't know.
Oh, that's going to be terrible. I'm going to cut that up.
But, you know, I feel like they probably definitely went to the Dudleys and were like, hey, we'd like to use this move. It's a good tag finisher for us.
Yeah.
Even though they've botched it a couple times. The
Pretty
Usos have botched so much lately. Especially Jay.
I don't know.
And
It makes me sad.
Yeah. I'm not gonna get into
that'll be next week. That'll be next week's problem.
The Oos botches.
Yeah.
But
you asked me a question last week because we're getting close to wrap up time here.
Yeah.
I thought about it a little bit. Didn't get too deep into it because
Well, remind the people what the question was.
I was dealing with podcast stuff. I forgot to think too much, but you asked me, what do you think the worst booked matches are of all time?
Mm-hmm.
This might sound weird, but I honestly think this one's yours. I honestly think Brock Lesnar squishing Kofi is a shitty booked match, and I hated it.
I hated it too.
I hated it with a passion.
It's not my top one.
It's not my top one either, but that's the one that comes to mind like immediately right now. I hate that match.
I hated everything about that. I hated that they built it as they built it up. Kofi going against Brock.
The crowd was going nuts.
Yeah.
Kofi mania.
Yeah, and he gets squashed. And then you have Rey Mysterio and Cain Velasquez come out.
Right.
And there was a half-assed match. I will say Cain Velasquez could wrestle. He trained for it with Ray because he's Mexican. He respects the art form.
He's a professional too.
Yeah, but that was it. Cain lost. You never saw him again. There was no payoff. Like, it would have been all right if you were building to like a Rey Mysterio Brock feud, but that feud kind of fell flat.
Right. I understand when they kind of just leave us hanging with no payoff, but they do it a lot, and it's starting to get annoying now to me.
Yeah?
I'm getting real tired of it.
What's your number one?
God, I don't know.
If you could just pick one. I already know my number one.
Go ahead.
Triple H versus Booker T at WrestleMania.
Ugh, I hated that match too.
It was absolutely disgusting and deplorable. They made it pretty much a racial thing.
Yeah.
And then, like, you're making Triple H look like this ultimate heel, damn near Nazi. And you have Booker T lose.
Right.
And not even, it wasn't even like a clean finish. He pedigreed him. And then they were both down for a while. Then he covered him for the 3 count. Like, they were both laying there for a while. I feel like that was back in the day of Triple H being the asshole. Like, everything's about me. I am this company. So he pretty much, I feel like he humiliated Booker T on purpose.
I feel like he probably did too.
And
just because he could.
Yeah, he was very protected. Now, granted, Triple H has gotten a lot better. You know, he's more humble. You need to stop cutting me off, man. I'm telling you. It's kind of scary.
Dude.
All right, so that's our 3-minute warning. Thank you, Bischoff.
You're real tired of him.
What's our hot take? What you got?
I got it last week. It's on you today.
Oh, crap. I'm going to take like 3 minutes thinking of something.
I got one real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
If you don't mind. Danhausen.
What about him?
He had a match last night. I was not impressed with the match time.
Yeah, I know.
He is a great wrestler. For if anyone doesn't know, he's fantastic. He's not just a gimmick.
He's not like top tier, but he gets the job done.
He's very good.
Yeah.
He's a very solid worker. So he showed off a little bit. He did a hurricane run off the top ropes.
Yeah.
Which clean.
Yeah.
And then he won, and I was like, all right. I mean, I like that they're at least giving him a match.
Yeah.
They got, I guess that's their merch fucking
Yeah, they're just
cash cow.
It's them selling merch. I was like, okay, I like Danhausen. I really do. I think he's hilarious. I love him. I love R-Truth. They're the comedy guys and everything. Leave it at that. If you're gonna put him in a match, give him an actual match. Don't do it like a gimmicky. Yeah. Like he does the Undertaker sit up and says you are cursed, and then the pyro shoots at the Miz and Kit.
Yeah,
like it was great. It was hilarious.
Great.
You know what it reminded me of, and I think Michael Cole and Wade Barrett even said it on commentary. It reminded me of a Benny Hill sketch. Like all you were missing is the music, and my favorite thing about Danhausen. Not even when it's not the stuff that he says and everything like that. It's when he hits that smoke screen and he's still standing there and he's like, ah, and then he runs away. I love it. That's my favorite thing he does. Yeah. Or when he pops up behind somebody, he's got that dumbass smile. And then he's like, ah, what? You know? I love it. But that's the thing about WWE, in my opinion. If you're going to make them a comedy thing, make them a comedy thing. Keep them backstage or have them come out, do like a little silly promo that R-Truth has done, especially when he told Paul Heyman he was going to throw him over the top rope. Right. That was hilarious. Or when he came on stage and he was like talking about how he's going to win the Money in the Bank, and Kane's like, you're not even in the match. Like, I loved it. But keep it to that. Our truth makes people feel good, you know.
Yes.
And if the show's dull or boring, our truth makes it fun.
Right.
Danhausen could be that.
Good.
That's why, like, you don't really see him on Raw on Netflix. Like, when he comes out and he's shooting the T-shirts, unless you're over in like the UK or something like that, you see that.
Yeah.
But it's a feel-good moment. It makes people happy.
I halfway think too. Maybe they are don't like that Benny Hill thing with his matches. Which, if that's going to be a case, fine. I guess I'm okay with it. But the guy can wrestle.
Yeah.
Let him wrestle a little bit.
You want him to get more of a spotlight on his abilities than the gimmick.
Yeah.
Because honestly, he's not an R-Truth. That gimmick's not going to keep him around forever.
No, it's not. He's going to outgrow it. So, like,
People are going to start getting tired of it.
Right. Show me what he can do in the ring. I mean, maybe they're good. Just that's what I would do. Maybe try to stretch it as long as I can, and then like maybe if people are like, all right, well, I'm getting tired of just Danhausen. Let me see what he got. Let me see what he's got in the ring. Is he just a gimmick,
Right.
or can the guy actually wrestle? Which,
Can he
I know
go?
he can wrestle.
Can he work? You know?
Mhm.
But that's our time for the show. But I do have something for all of our TikTok followers. This is a question. I want to see the comments and everything. Who is your least favorite wrestler of all time and why? Best ones we'll talk about next show. And we'll
Sounds
give
good
you
to me.
our opinions and everything.
I
So,
like that.
that's it for today's episode of Club Kayfabe. The only wrestling show that really matters.
Yeah. Of course.
We love y'all. We'll see you next week.